This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
Welcome back, list builders, to another fun-filled edition of List Building Lifestyle with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Igor Kheifets.
Howdy.
Howdy. Howdy. You're in Israel, man. Howdy.
Howdy, partner. So, Jonathan, look, there is too much bad behavior out there. And it's fun for me to kind of discuss it and show people what not to do. But at some point, people have to get a grip and just get with the program. Like this one guy emailed us today. And so check this out. Here's, imagine the scene. So the guy comes in complaining that he can't afford to buy paid traffic and that whatever paid traffic he can afford to buy usually doesn't convert. So we say, okay, we don't know why it didn't convert. Let us first check out your offer. Okay, cool. He sends us the link. Turns out he wrote a long-form sales letter to sell a $2.97 report in which he proudly exposes the gurus and their dirty tricks that they use to trick you into buying things you don't need, okay? And he's just amazed. How come nobody's buying that? Now, I'm not sure how obvious it is to our audience, but it has to be obvious to you and me, just all the things he's doing wrong. First off, you can't go selling a $2.97 report expecting to make any money. Even if you sell 100 copies, that's only $297 for 100 customers. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. You can't build a business if you don't have a profit margin. So that's one mistake. But a more fundamental mistake that he's making is that he's trying to sell something people don't actually want. Nobody wants. Everybody complains about the gurus being the assholes of the universe, right? That they sell us the information we don't need and that we're not supposed to listen to them, and because they only want to get rich off of our problems and stuff like that. And I even heard this amazing term from a VIP client who basically coined the entire self-help industry as shelf help. Well, basically you buy a bunch of information that you just store on your shelf. And in some way, she's absolutely correct, for sure. If you don't use it, then it's definitely some shelf help right there. But with this guy, let's be honest, who is willing to buy a report that exposes the way we're being scammed? Really. I don't know a person who actually will spend money to buy something like that simply because it doesn't help. It simply doesn't help. And that information actually should be free because selling such information in and of itself contradicts the whole concept.
So I need, when you said $2.97, is it $297 or $2.97?
That's $2.99.
Oh, $2.99. Dude, really? He can't sell that $2.99 product? That's amazing.
That is ridiculous. Now, of course, the physical element and the marketing element of how he tries to sell something people don't want. And that's one thing. But can you imagine how rotten is his money mindset if he's willing to spend 2 months writing a dirt cheap report that focuses on exposing the dirty gurus, okay? And he's basically, I think his money mindset is just in the toilet. And there's no way he can make money even if he raises the price, even if he rewrites the copy or changes the USP of his product. Because I noticed, Jonathan, this may sound kind of weird, but I noticed that some people, you can give them the best traffic, you can give them the best offers and the best sales funnels, they never make money. And, I wish I could follow them around for 24 hours with a yellow pad and write down everything they're doing. But I don't have to, because all it takes is one conversation to find out what their money mindset is. And I'm a great believer in the fact that there is something beyond the 3 or 4 dimensions that we live in right now, where energy that we're not necessarily able to see, right, or feel at times, it moves around. And you can literally think money away. Now, this is, I realize I'm crossing the line here because I'm not a metaphysical guy. I don't believe that if you just sit in the corner quietly and think about making $1 million, you will make $1 million. I'm more of a practical
What?
guy. Yes, it's not going to work, Jonathan.
I don't
Get
like you
over it.
anymore.
Get over it, man. So I'm more of a practical guy. I believe in a proper application of principles on a daily basis and creating habits. We've had a bunch of episodes where we spoke about the kind of habits you want to have. So you may want to scan and go back and check out some previous episodes. But you can really affect your financial thermostat, which is the term I first heard from Harv T. Aker in The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. There is such a thing. I know people who can work hard. They're smart people, but they will never cross a certain threshold. But at the same time, they'll never go below a certain threshold, right? I'm sure you have friends like that as well.
Yeah, they're stuck right in that level forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'll give an example. I met this nice lady who's she's my friend's fiance, my friend's brother's fiance, right? And she's doing well. But the thing is, she's been doing well for the last 10 years. I asked her, like, your income, did it increase in the last 10 years? She's like, nope. Did it go down in the last 10 years? She says, well, only if you consider inflation, then yeah, it went down with the inflation, but the actual amount of money didn't really go down. And I said, okay, so the people you hang out with, are you the person that makes the most money in that group? She's like, yes. I'm like, well, no wonder. If you change the group and you change the group to a group where you make the least money of all, you will see your income go up simply because your mindset and the way you see the world and perceive everything around you will change tremendously. So, this is the concept of the mastermind, which is why I love going to marketing events and I love, getting coaching, although it's super expensive, it helps you raise that level. And, so back to this guy who tries to sell a $2.99 report exposing the dirty gurus and their dirty tricks. You have to switch the focus to something that can actually help you make money. You have to switch the focus from feeling scammed and cheated by the gurus to take personal responsibility for the amount of money you're earning and say, okay, I deserve what I make right now. How can I turn myself into the kind of person that makes twice as much what I'm making right now? That is a way more productive way of seeing the world than keep thinking about all the gurus that scammed you on eBay and other different services.
That's actually what I went to Strategic Coach from the time we're recording this probably a week ago. And that was our whole focus, was the largest check and looking at what your largest checks are in your business and then looking to make that your lowest check and setting your barometer higher so that you could focus on that the next year. And it was a very interesting exercise. And I started rethinking everything when they put me into that situation.
Yeah, every ceiling is a new floor, so to speak. But that's not the kind of thinking that most people have. And that's not the kind of thinking. And you weren't even aware of that, right? Before someone told you about it.
Yeah.
So it goes back to, I remember Dennis told me something. He read this, some psychological book, and he's big on psychology and social studies. And, he came in and he's got this wow look on his face. It's that face when you get a brain boner, when you just discover something truly amazing. Yeah. And he says, oh my God, I just realized something. I'm like, what? He's like, this person we hang out with? I'm like, yeah. You know why he's not funny? I'm like, well, because he's not funny. He just doesn't have a good sense of humor. And he's like, no. He doesn't even realize he's not funny. And that is exactly the reason he's not funny. And so this is like this loop, this catch-22. So you can't, this guy, unfortunately, can't even see what he's doing wrong until someone specifies this to him. And I made the mistake of being that person. So I stepped into that conversation with that person. I said, look, dude, you won't convert. You won't sell a copy with this attitude. This USP, unique selling proposition, makes no freaking sense. I don't know anyone who would actually pay $3 to discover how they're being scammed. Because first off, you're focusing...
They think it's a scam.
Yeah, exactly. They might think it's a scam in the first place. You're focusing on the wrong people. You need people that are willing to pay money to get a result or to solve a problem. You can't be focusing on the people that all they do is complaining about how life is unfair, because these people get nowhere and they never invest in themselves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I must have been too straight. I chose like the direct approach, which I usually choose with clients, which I now realize is not always the right thing to do. This guy came back with a really mean response, and we never, no further comments were issued to him. But maybe if he's still listening, okay, if you're still listening, if you're still out there, please stop trying to sell that bullshit report and sell something useful to the people who are actually willing to buy stuff.
It's interesting how different positioning could change that, because he's selling it as a scam product, and it might make more sense to sell it as a persuasion secret product, which then people want to know the persuasion secrets of their favorite gurus. Just that little change could make a big difference.
Oh yeah, and this is big. Framing is big, and you actually mentioned the USP just mentioned how to basically identify whether or not you're being tricked, and how to basically turn this around and make it into a weapon, right? That you can use to influence people that you want to influence, whether for good or bad, hopefully for good. That's the angle with which Robert Cialdini wrote the Persuasion, one of my favorite books on persuasion of all times. Right, he wrote it basically to expose how we're being tricked on daily basis by influencers, and how to, become immune to this influence, and how to influence others if we dim fit. That's why I picked it up. I mean, it really made a lot of sense, because I had the end goal of becoming a better influencer myself, of gaining better understanding. Right, my goal was not to become someone who just knows he's being tricked, because I know I'm being tricked. Like, if I already feel I'm being tricked by the gurus, then I don't need you to tell me for me to know, right? I already have that. So, that is a big thing. And framing really works. I'll give an example. I took Erica to her dance recital the other day, and it's about an hour usually. In which case, me and my wife would just, go out for a coffee or something like that. And this time we stayed. And so we waited. So 30 minutes into it, they got a little break to drink some water, to go pee, because these are 4-year-old girls. I mean, they have to pee every 20 minutes. So they come out, they run out, they go pee, and my daughter comes back and she says, "Daddy, I'm done." I'm like, "What do you mean you're done?" She says, "I danced and I'm done. Let's go and get bamba." Bamba is her favorite treat, which we usually go get after the dance. And I say, "What do you mean you're done? You got 30 more minutes to go." She says, "No, I'm done." I'm like, "Okay." So I realize now she doesn't want to go back dancing. And I say, "Don't you want to go back and dance with your friends?" And she says, "No, I'm cool. Let's go get bamba." And I'm like, damn it. And so back in the day, I would use a straight up approach, and I would try to convince her and say, "Look, you have to go, because that's the right thing to do, because we're paying for your dance classes," whatever. This time I used framing, and it sort of came in naturally. I didn't even realize what I was doing. I said, "Okay, cool. So you don't want to dance anymore?" She says, "No." I'm like, "Awesome. Do you want to go back and play with your friends for 30 minutes? She says, "Yeah." And she went back in. So,
Oh, God.
yeah, that was easy, right? I just framed the dancing as a game. So she just go play, go have fun. Don't dance, just go have fun. And she went back in and she danced for another 30 minutes. That's all. Framing. It just allows us to control the way people perceive things, and thus the way they make decisions.
No kidding. I gotta learn some of that parent speak you got over there.
Well, you might have heard I'm starting a parenting podcast.
There you go. That's going to be huge. I will say that book that you recommended, is it The Whole Brain Baby, or
Brain Rules for the Baby?
Brain Rules for the Baby. Yeah, excellent book. And I think just like the framing lesson that you gave there, you can have a bunch of lessons for dealing with people, since we're all thinking at a lower level no matter what. So Igor, what else you got for us on this?
Oh, dude, come on. I can talk about this thing for hours. Overall, I want this episode to be this waving flag. Just imagine me standing right now on top of a hill and waving a red flag, and just trying to alert you to the dangers of your own thinking about money. And to say that if you are not making the kind of money you want to make, it's not because the gurus are tricking you into it. It's not because there's bad traffic out there. It's simply because you are doing something to make that happen. You are responsible and you deserve exactly what you're making. I honestly believe that. I believe the marketplace will reward you with exactly, to a penny, exactly what you're worth. And if you're not making what you believe you're worth, look within and see where exactly do you fail to think like a true millionaire.
So the other thing that I want to circle back to before we wrap up is those people that you surround yourself with. How important is it to be around people who are at a higher level than you?
Oh, it is. I guess it may be the most important thing you can ever do for yourself in general, not just for your business. Without realizing there's people out there who make way more than me, without realizing there's people out there who are way healthier than me, way fitter than me, who are way better parents than me, I would have never strived to become better because I would not know what's possible. Especially, if those people are just normal, just like you and me, right? Because it's easy to look at someone like Tony Robbins and say, oh my God, that man is a beast. He's got 10 businesses running. He's doing 27 seminars a month. He's got this and that. His, palms are huge, and like he meets 80% of all of his goals, and yada, yada, yada. But, someone like Tony Robbins might truly seem like the man in the mountain. But someone like me should be an inspiration to you guys to recognize that you can be a normal person and achieve everything. And if there's someone else out there who does better than you, you should try to find a way to find out exactly what they're doing and how they're thinking in order to achieve similar results.
Now, let's take the flip side of that before we wrap up. How important is it to get rid of those people, like your old high school friends, the people that don't understand that you're in business, all those people that bring you down? How important is it to get rid of them?
Well, I guess you could say that unless you do, they will suck you in like a swamp. It is simply the fact of life. You want to stay away from those whose minds are sick, if you will. It's not like they're bad people. It's just they have stinking thinking, as Jim Rohn, I think, used to say. So it's automatically, you won't even notice how they suck you into the same patterns, into the same mindsets, and you have to exit that environment. Now, if you are sort of in that environment right now and you cannot escape it, then just minimize your communication with those people to bare minimum. And if you have to keep communicating with them, learn to not take anything they say seriously. Because the moment you do and you buy into their predictions of your success, you're fucked.
Drop the mic. There we go. Another episode of List Building Lifestyle is in the can. Thank you, Igor. Thank you, List Builders. We'll be back with you next time.
Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.